Hi, it's Andy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Welcome to the ADK channel. Today we're going to do something we don't do because we're the rock and metal channel, and we're not going to do rock and metal today. We're going to go completely outside of our comfort zone. We have an artist called Ren. Now, this track we're going to check out is Suicide. It's a recent video he's put out. I have covered Ren before on my other channel. Dave does. Go check it out. With one of his others. I think it was called Hi, I'm Ren, which I found very interesting. It was a very dark video. And I did quite a long, detailed analysis at the end, and quite introverted thought process went in there about death and suicide. And yeah, I don't know where I went with my conversation at the end, like this intro. But anyway, let's go check it out and we'll share our thoughts. But we may not like it because it's not really our music, but we are definitely going to give it the time of day, and we're going to give you an honest feedback on what we think first time listening. Let's check it out.
Through the cracks of the night sky, a light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Oh, treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. I'm so fucking lonely beneath this. Narcissistic, can't keep a secret. Miscount sheep, but can't sleep, a misfit. Some say trouble, but some say sadistic. Bruises my brother, one time or the other. My skin felt counterfeit, silicone rubber. Bruises my sister, skin pop the blister. Dig deep, resist the feeling when it hits you. Falling through the cracks of the night sky, a light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Sick boy, bitten by a tech boy. I feel like it's not me, it's the world that's sick. I'm so fucking washed up and seasick. Masochistic kid with a split lip. 6 feet deep, I can't eat, I'm nervous. Won't stay down cause my body purges. Useless my mother, can't keep in my supper. Skin so pale cause my cheeks leak colour. Truth is my father, you choose your karma. Draw for the sword, then drive through the armour. Falling through the cracks of the night sky, a light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide.
It's hard to take off from the ground when your wings are cut. Your stomach burns when you're drinking from an empty cup. You know the entire ocean came from my tear ducts. I see the world through Fibonacci sequences and double Dutch. I guess there's some that's born lucky, there's some that's not. I tried to cut away my bitterness, hatchet job. I locked my youth inside a trunk, inside a pickup truck, then dumped the whole thing over that same bridge the night you jumped. I think about that sometimes, vividly. What it felt like to look down and see tranquility. One sudden movement in a world of possibility. Only one movement to expose our fragility. I fucking miss you, and I miss myself. I miss thinking we were indestructible as well. I miss chilling by the pier cave and kicking back with Callum, Hugo, Sager, Justin, Stevie and the fucking lads. I miss missing that. I numb myself to close the gap. I never even call them up. The distance is my plaster cast. The truth is that the day you jumped, my childhood jumped too. But I still can't find that anger. All I find is missing you, man, I miss you. With all my rhymes, I picture running 5 minutes quicker, I'm right on time. I picture pulling you back over the edge and then we're crying, and holding you, my brother, and telling you that it's fine. Not the way that it worked, cause I was late like a jerk. There's not a day where I could find a way to break from the hurt. Your body missing, so we never got to wave to the hearse. I hope you're listening, I love you, man, I miss you absurd, fuck.
Woo! Okay. Damn. All right.
First time you've seen it, Dave, as well?
Huh?
Is that the first time you've seen that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Normally I do. All I knew was that I'd seen about 2 or 3 seconds of it. I never watched the videos before you've seen it, unless it's something I know I've definitely checked. I've only checked it out once, and I said the high on Ren, so I knew what was coming as far as stylization, but not the depth of the story and what he was trying to put across in the visualizations, etc. So yeah, I'm going to go to you and then come back to me if that's all right, Andy.
I mean, you gave us a bit of a sort of a summary of what we were going to expect sort of off camera before we sort of started. I mean, the title and the subject matter is kind of a big feature in the music that I usually listen to. So, Funeral Doom, you know, it's obviously features quite a lot in some of the songs by some of my favourite bands. More from Congregation is the first one that springs to mind. Nocturnal Depression, that, you know, bands like that. The vocals wasn't what I was expecting from what you sort of told us at the beginning. It's sort of very typical of sort of up and coming young British artists in the sort of pop, rap, rhyme scenes, dance scenes, you know. And I kind of expected. I said to myself, I think I know what this guy's going to sound like when he speaks. He's going to be very sort of very London, very geezer, very sort of, you know, like what young people are these days. But I mean, visually, the video, I really like that style of animation. I think that was excellent. I really enjoyed that. The sections where it doesn't feature the artists were great, and also like the bits where he's sort of depicted in sort of animated form, you know, singing, you know, sort of singing the lyrics of the song. But I'm going to have a guess that we're all going to agree with this bit. The sort of second half, if that's the right word, the sort of the piano piece with the spoken word. I mean, I'm kind of emotional about it now after just seeing it. I mean, it's obviously depicting a very, very raw, true event that this young man has experienced. You know, from what I'm gathering, he's lost a friend from a big group of friends, and him and the other guys in the friendship group are trying to deal with it. And he's thinking, could I have done more? Could I have helped you more? And it is, I mean, this is what music does. It's an outpouring of emotions. It's a cathartic release of someone's sort of feelings on a particular matter. And I didn't think I was going to enjoy it at the beginning. I just thought I was going to say, well, I quite like the animation, but it's not my thing. But I want to watch that again. I want to sort of take in every one of those sort of lyrics that sort of appeared in almost lyric video form in the second half, after the, you know, the sort of you know, the chorusy bit with the sort of music that sounded a bit like a kazoo. I'm sure it wasn't, but yeah, I mean, very, very powerful piece of music, and I want to see it again.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure the reason why I want to see it again, but I certainly
know.
And
it reminds me exactly how I felt after seeing the last one, High on Red, where I sat there afterwards going, I felt really emotional after watching it, because he did something quite similar in the High on Ren one, which is he finishes the song, then he gets up and he comes and he gets out of his chair and he walks towards the camera like the video's finished, and he starts to talk to you with the camera and tell you the story, and tells you the story about hurt and pain, and you're like, and he gets very emotional. It's the fact in this one where he's singing it at the end, or he's doing his verbal rap, whatever you want to call it, at the end, and the tears that you're hearing, and he's upset, and you can go, that's not someone making up the noise of someone who's crying. That's someone who's singing and crying at the end of it. He's genuinely
that one as well, didn't it? As well, yeah.
You can't make that up. That is generally someone who's crying, and you can tell he's emotionally. I mean, it reminded me musically of like the Gorillaz was the band that kind of I got straight off the back. And when it started, the chorus is like, oh I, fallen through the cracks of the night sky. A light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. And I'm like, nah, this is kind of suicide, suicide. And I was like, I'm not getting this dark level. This feels quite. It almost feels like mildly upbeat in this. And I was trying to watch the video and I'm trying to work out, so where's the suicide coming? I pulled the lyrics up because I'm like, is he talking about his suicide? And then when he just switches to that bit at the end and it all just comes tumbling down on you, I was like, damn, okay. And then it's just fired. I couldn't help you. I couldn't do this. And you just suddenly start thinking about it. You start thinking about anyone that you've lost. I lost a friend when I was 14 and I was 15, he was 14. And I was on holiday and he had a weightlifting accident. And unfortunately died, and no one was there for him. And that straight away came into my head. And I came back from holiday, and his mum phoned us up to telling me that my best mate had died. That went straight into my head watching that video, because I'm just sitting there. Well, what if I hadn't been on holiday that week? He wouldn't have been doing weightlifting. We'd have been out doing stuff. I went away on a family holiday, and he got up in the morning, decided to do weightlifting, and it fell and choked him, smashed his throat. Basically, is what happened to him. But it's amazing how music has that way to reflect, it impacts you and stuff. And if I think if you hadn't done that second part of the song, I would have had no emotional connection. But the way he's put that in there, it just completely turns the song on its head. Now, like you, Andy, I want to go back to that first part, and I want to break that first part of the song down to help me now. Now that we know about this jumping off the bridge, I want to understand the earlier parts. How is he telling that story? Is he talking about the walk to go into the bridge? How's it all now tying together? I want to break it down. I love the animation as well, I want to say. I thought that looked great as a video. But I'm going to throw it over to Kirk to wrap us up on that one, I think.
Music like this is so distinctively English, or at least from an urban point of view. The regional accent is one of the best features of that song, in my opinion. I was trying to place his accent at first. I heard a few London inflections, then the East Midlands, Nottingham, Leicester, and then there were certainly some Mancunian pronunciations in there as well. So that alone I found fascinating. You're right, Dave. No minor chords in that song up until the unbelievable climax. Musically, I did quite like the main synthesizer hook that they had in there.
I just want to let you know he's Welsh.
Oh, he's Welsh, all right, okay.
Okay.
Threw
that out.
I have to say, musically, not my type of song. However, performance art, 10 out of 10. Great narrative, the story, you can follow it. You didn't even need a lyric video. Some really good rhymes in there as well. And yeah, I think we're all just probably intoxicated by the emotion of that ending, aren't we? Where if you listen to that piano, it's deliberately unmelodious, it's dissonant. It's a bit like the way Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails plays piano. And so that alone straight away just led to a bit of misalignment between listener and artist, and I like that. And then yes, listen how climactic the delivery was, those lyrics at the end, so poignant. Do you know what it reminded me of? Yeah, Gorillaz, The Streets, Mike Skinner. If you look at that, what was that song they did in 2003, Cry Your Eyes Out? And that was a big event at the time, wasn't it? Because you have this band that are talking about issues which were almost taboo at the time, the rate of male suicide, mental health. Now everyone talks about it, and this is a product of its age, this song, isn't it? You know, I might actually be a bit critical of that, where we're always encouraged to open up and talk about problems, and let's not be these toxic masculine men. And that's starting to have an impact now, isn't it? Even on, would we call this music rap? I mean, it's distinctly
English. I don't even know.
Yeah. Sorry, even though it's from Wales, so I need to recant that. Distinctly British. I wouldn't listen to an album of this musically. There's just not enough going on. But I do have a lot of respect for the emotion that's gone into it. It's like the first time you hear that song by Korn, Daddy, from their 1994 album, where Jonathan Davis just breaks down, doesn't he? And he's reliving this trauma of sexual abuse that he experienced as a child. And that was similar, the way that he's done that, those tears at the end. I think that it was just, they just probably came out in the studio. He probably didn't even plan that. So from a performance art perspective, that was remarkable. It really was. Musically, not so impressive until the end part. I mean, even listen to, like you say, it's upbeat. And I hate listening to those upstrokes on the bass and that acoustic guitar that Ed Sheeran does. You're not going to do anything. You're not going to invent anything musically if you're just playing those type of chords. But the fact that we're talking about it and we've got so much to say just shows you how much of a triumph this song is.
As we say, we're rock and metal, and it's crossed over, and we were able to talk about it with positivity about it. So there we go. That is Ren and Suicide. Now, if you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on another video sometime very soon. Take care.